The San Francisco 49ers final 53-man roster, well, I should say initial 53-man roster, has been cut. I'm going to give you a full breakdown of everyone who made it right now. Let's start with the quarterback room. The 49ers kept two, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones. To me, this is great. This is actually a deviation from the past where they have typically kept three because of the uncertainty at the position. When you have Mac Jones, you have Brock Purdy, you feel very, very confident with that room. I think Mac Jones might be arguably one of the best backups in the NFL. I do think he will eventually be a starter again one day. Got the opportunity to watch him up close in training camp this year. Matt can spin it. And of course, we already know how I feel about Brock Purdy. You should feel the same. Let's get into the running back room. The San Francisco 49ers keep four running backs: Christian McCaffrey, Jordan James, Brian Robinson Jr., and Isaac Guerendo. I think 49er fans are very excited about the 1-2 punch of Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson Jr. You got a little bit of a Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of David Montgomery vibe going, right? You got the do-it-all three-down back in CMC, but you got the kind of pile driver who can run it through your face in Brian Robinson Jr. And that combo, assuming it is used effectively, should be good. We do know Kyle Shanahan has typically rode the kind of workhorse mentality at running back. It'll be interesting to see if he kind of adjusts a little bit. But you also have some potential behind them. Isaac Guerendo has shown flashes. He's been dealing with injuries, and he has a shoulder injury. So it's been kind of a challenge for him. But he does show moments where he looks like he could be a very capable back. He has outside speed. He can stretch the defenses horizontally. Jordan James, he has been hurt all of training camp. He got hurt on the first day of pads. He broke his finger. He hasn't been able to return. He showed a lot without pads. And he was one of the players that I wanted to see the most once pads came on. Unfortunately, we never got that opportunity. But I do think highly of Jordan James out of Oregon. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Now, this next position, we did a live grade on the live show, kind of the reaction to this position group. Wasn't well received. Not a lot of good grades. I would be remiss to say if there was passing grades. It was anyways, let me get into it. The 49ers have Ricky Pearsall, Sky Moore, Juwan Jennings, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing. If the San Francisco 49ers were to start a season today, they would have two healthy wide receivers. Juwan Jennings dealing with the calf. You have Jordan Watkins dealing with a high ankle sprain. Jacob Cowing will likely start the season on IR. He'll probably get placed on IR tomorrow. And the 49ers will do some roster shuffling. And we'll get into some of what that shuffling could look like here in a bit. But the 49ers are in trouble right now at their wide receiver room. Brandon Ayuk started the season on reserve PUP. You also have a situation where Demarcus Robinson got officially suspended today for 3 games. The 49ers wide receiver room, not ideal. But you go down to the tight end room, you got George Kittle. Everyone loves George. Everyone knows. I mean, if you've heard any of the reports from training camp, I expect George Kittle to arguably have one of his best seasons of his career. He looks like he is rearing and ready to go. He looks peak performance. It looks like a prime George Kittle season. Any fantasy players, I would strongly suggest investing in George Kittle. And I think you can get him at like tight end 4 almost in some redraft leagues. So I would definitely do that. With Luke Farrell, Jake Tonges, a little bit of a TBD situation behind them. I really did think Jake Tonges impressed me with his H-back capabilities, filling in the Kyle Juszczyk role. He did pretty well. Luke Farrell, still TBD. I need to see more from Luke. I was, I was a guy who talked very highly of Charlie Warner, and I got a lot of pushback for that because I emphasized how important he was to the 49ers run game. It has now been 2 years since the 49ers lost Charlie Warner in free agency, and they're still attempting to replace him. Will Luke Farrell be the one? We're about to find out this season. When you look at the 49ers offensive line, the 49ers did something I wasn't expecting. They kept more offensive linemen than they typically have in the past. When you look at the 49ers O-line, they kept Trent Williams, Ben Bartch, Dominic Pooney, Connor Colby, Spencer Burford, Colton McKivitz, Jake Brendel, Austin Pleasance, Matt Hennessy, and my boy, Drew Moss. If you followed the channel, you know that I'm a big fan of Drew Moss. He's a guy that stood out to me in training camp. I made that known. Then, on top of that, he continued to have a stellar preseason. I went as far as to making a dedicated film breakdown of Drew Moss. He is a very, very, I don't want to heat too much onto him. He has a lot of potential. Let me put it that way. He could be a starter in this league on the interior, so I'm glad that the 49ers kept him. That also meant the 49ers moved on from Nick Sakel, who was heading into year 3. The biggest, craziest thing about that, Nick Sakel was your starting left guard at the beginning of training camp because Ben Bartch was hurt. Did I say Ben Bartch? I should have. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But that was one of the biggest surprises, is that Nick Sakel really had an opportunity to earn a spot on this roster, but unfortunately he did not execute well enough and got beat out by Drew Moss. When you look at the 49ers' other positions and we shift gears to the trenches and you look at their defensive line, you've got Bryce Huff, Robert Beal Jr., Evan Anderson, Sam O., Jordan Elliott, Kalia Davis, Yetur Gross-Matos, Alfred Collins, Nick Bosa, Michael Williams, and CJ West. Now, I would say the cut that has probably I've seen the most backlash on was Sebastian Valdez, the undrafted free agent rookie defensive tackle out of Washington. A lot of people liked him, myself included. I actually did think he had a shot to make this roster. Unfortunately, he did not. There's a chance he could sign to the San Francisco 49ers practice squad. We'll have to see. But overall, the biggest surprise for me was Robert Beal. I thought that the 49ers might opt to keep Sebastian over a guy like Robert Beal, but I do think it is a position situation. Robert Beal plays edge, Sebastian plays defensive tackle, and they have a lot of defensive tackles. Alfred Collins, CJ West, Kalia Davis, Jordan Elliott, Evan Anderson. They're doing well. They're doing well at that position. I think that I think it was a hard decision. It was probably one of the hardest decisions that they had to make, but that's the way they went. And we'll see what the 49ers do if they're able to get him back on the practice squad. When you look at the safety position, they go Richie Grant, Jason Pinnock, Jair Brown, and Marquise Siegel. This room, I think, is a big question mark as well. However, I do recognize I am much higher on Jason Pinnock than I think others are. I do believe Robert Saleh has huge plans for Jason Pinnock. I have mentioned and referenced from how he used him in training camp. Think of Derwin James. Derwin James just freelancing, doing all these crazy things, whether in coverage, whether blitzing, just I don't even know what I can say or can't say. I might get a call from someone saying, hey, you can't say that. So I don't even know. All I know is I'm buying Jason Pinnock stock. Marquise Siegel, obviously a big riser. The 49ers drafted him in the 5th round, and he has proven to be a guy who could be a long-term starter at the position, kind of like a Jimmy Ward almost. And then you got Richie Grant, who I was a big fan of coming out of the draft. We'll see what he can be. And then Jair Brown, who's had an on and off campaign with the San Francisco 49ers, but would likely be a good opportunity for him to potentially take a step forward or fall out of favor. The specialists, this caught a lot of people by surprise and caused a little confusion. The 49ers released their punter, Thomas Morstead. They only have a kicker and long snapper currently on the roster. But as I mentioned about the situation regarding Jacob Cowing, they're likely going to place Cowing on IR and then re-sign Thomas Morstead to the active roster. So fear not, the 49ers will have a punter. They just don't have a punter right now It'll happen, don't worry. But that is the breakdown of the San Francisco 49ers roster. And again, guys that you didn't hear, Malik Mustafa starting the year on reserve PUP along with Brandon Ayuk. You also have Kevin Givens and Jacob Robinson who are placed on IR. Kevin Givens was designated for a return. And yeah, so we'll see. Curtis Rourke was placed on the reserve NFI list. And you had Isaac Alsorn and Demarcus Robinson who are suspended. So when you look at the whole 49ers roster and you kind of look at it in its totality, what do you think? Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? Are you meh? Or is there still room to be made? The 49ers pick 11th in the waiver claim order. I want them to pick up offensive tackle Esapole from the Chiefs, undrafted free agent out of Washington State. If you watch this channel, there's a good chance you know who he is. We had him on the channel. He was a phenomenal interview, phenomenal story. He's only been playing football for 4 years. He started in college at Chabot here in the Bay Area and was able to play at Washington State. He's a guy that I think has a lot of potential. He's raw, admittedly. He has a ways to go. But within the 49 snaps that he played in preseason, he gave up 0 pressures. And Chiefs fans, they were not happy to see good old Esapole get released. So I'm curious, are there players that you think the 49ers should put a claim in for? What do you think the 49ers should do to continue to round out this roster? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.